Okay, so I'm gonna just try to wing this. I'm a little grungy here. Haven't shaved in a couple days. I'm here. That is a crime, right? I'm here at Starbucks, at a Starbucks, and one of the death threats for such crimes as not shaving for a couple days, the 5 o'clock shadow crime, because I guess if you ever look, if you don't shave, you're a serial killer, so therefore there's worldwide campaigns to kill you, or better yet, if you do that more than once in your life, the Anita Perlman and police and government psychology, you have a problem too, literal thing that they're, whatever they mean by that, well, hunting me to kill me since 5 years old. Who knows, because they're not sane, rational people. So that would be a crime in the category of the Perlman Secret Rule crime book. Does that make sense? The Perlman Secret Rule crime book, where worldwide groups are told to hunt you and kill you. Therefore, going to more than one coffee shop 20 years ago means, apparently, I guess, in their secret psychotic murdering thought process, so it's hard to really understand what's going on, is that you exceeded the one rule or something, so therefore every coffee shop is notified to try to mentally batter you to death with psychological warfare tactics. Now let's get down to reality. What's it really about? Well, we don't know. We have not been given an answer. I don't know if you can, it's a little weird, but I don't know if you can see me. 22 years ago, noticing a worldwide campaign to kill me, not understanding what it is. Mike Huntley's telling me world of paranoia, have a good life now, dropping papers on my desk, how to make people mentally unkill them. Have a good life now, you better live a careful life, meaning that if you blink wrong, we're gonna hunt you and kill you, with these psychological shockings or terror tactics developed, or not developed, but with Ronald Barry Perlman, my father, mother, and brother, and to find out that that was actually always the case since 5 years old, correct? So, you didn't sip on your milk right. I'm gonna punch you in the back of the head 100,000 times, or I'm gonna shock you. I'm gonna do it in a way that they can get away with out physically touching you, to try to make you, to inflict pain. Now, pain is pain, so if someone punches someone in the back of the head, it's a form of pain. If someone says welcome 100,000 times to someone, it is a method of inflicting pain, and therefore that is what you call child abuse, okay, because it starts at 5 years old. Okay, well, you know, I don't approve of you, I don't approve of you taking auto shop class in Calabasas High, so I'm gonna shock you to death. Zap, 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 just like his dog, Rhoda, his Rhodesian Ridgeback, correct? Now, let's go back to coffee shops. I don't want my child going to any coffee shop. I'm around 29 years old. I'm finding this all out. I stopped by at a coffee shop. I believe the first one was probably Topanga and Ventura Starbucks, where they just instantly went aggro. I explained on the last video how it was linked to Paul Humphrey, who worked security at that shopping center, and was sent into my life at 14 with Mike Huntley, trying to set me up and frame me and rid me of the world, joining the police academy, working with LAPD to try to frame me, set me up, working with people like Jen Hess, Julia Sophia Reynoso, sent after me to try to set me up, frame me, abuse me to death, cry wolf, the same tactics that almost every human being on the entire planet Earth is told to do since I was 5 years old. And then they all are told to play victim, okay? So, making it to around age 29 and finding out there's a worldwide campaign to kill you for absolutely no reason is very strange. Okay, so technically right now I'm violating the secret rule that my kind is not allowed to go to a coffee shop. And you're gonna say, there's no actual real rule. There's no such rule. So what will happen, like has been happening since the first time I walked into a Starbucks 20 years ago, is, well, Kevin violated the rule. Kevin's breaking rules. Well, what rule? Does it say on the law books that a Jew is not allowed at a coffee shop? There's no rule that says that. So anything after that is a crime of trying to get rid of me and stop me from going to coffee shops. But it also applies to every restaurant. And some of the little hinty excuses are, well, 40 years ago you ate too much food at a buffet, so you're an out-of-control monster, so you're not allowed to go to any restaurant in the world or supermarket. Okay, now every single human interaction, or almost every single human interaction is provoking, whether it's mimic tactics, idea of reference tactics, groups of people showing a following with cryptic identical clothing, to there's thousands of these tactics, okay, these shockings, okay, but why? Well, if you can make it look like someone's afraid to walk out of their house, is an agoraphobic, like my father says Janet Nordet was, who he put in jail for 3 years, who wanted me to move in his house right after he married her, right, saying, come back from college, move in my house, okay, well, Mike Huntley wanted to start a business with me, right, at the same exact time, all strategically orchestrated, as frame jobs. There's nothing I've done to Janet Nordet. As a matter of fact, when I started speaking, saying something's wrong with the situation because the same things are happening to me, same things that Lorena Escobar was saying about Janet Nordet, she's saying about me, the same things my father was saying about Janet Nordet, he was saying about me, okay, and then it's you don't talk or we kill you with worldwide groups, and you go, this is weird, right, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I've committed the 5 o'clock shadow crime. Now if I say anything, you're going to say, this guy is too sensitive and nothing's happening, and yet every day thousands of events get on video narrated for the past 6 to 7 years, but there's really 15 years of downloadable video. And the narrated ones explain a lot of details, so that's in the dailies folder at kevinperlmantarget.com. So this, I would right now be exercising the Kevin's kind is not allowed to go to coffee shops because theoretically he suffers from mental illness and he might drink too much coffee, correct? Yet, in retrospect, I normally drink less coffee than everyone else worldwide. Maybe 1 to 2 cups a day. And nobody's going to care this way, that way, and honestly, nobody's going to care if I drink 100 cups of coffee a day, because do you see me walking around going, you see that guy over there, he dated more than 1 girl per year, we got to put a stop to him? Okay, I don't, right? Because I'm focused on myself. I'm not a psychotic, murdering, obsessed sicko like all these people that are taking part. Now we have to question the trickle-down effect and who's doing it and why they're doing it. Example, I don't want Kevin to go to coffee shops. Therefore, I'm going to notify the entire planet we need to stop Kevin from going to coffee shops. We don't want Kevin going to pool holes. We need to notify the entire planet to stop Kevin from going to pool holes. We don't want Kevin getting a college degree. We need to notify cities, because the internet didn't exist, at University of Colorado and Southern Oregon State College, if you see Kevin, try to mentally batter him to death or shock him to death. Why? The big question, why? Well, here's the thing, I'm not allowed to ask why, because why means you suffer from obsession. Well, that's strange. I mean, most people want to know why mass groups are stalking them, trying to make them mentally ill, or why they're magically not allowed at any coffee shop in the world for no reason. Now we have the cover-up lies, right? Kevin's supposedly harassing women. Kevin supposedly masturbated in the bathroom. Kevin's a violent paranoid schizo. Nobody talked to him, or if you do talk to him, provoke him. Wait, if I'm violent paranoid schizo, why is every person on the planet told to provoke me? Unless you want to create the illusion that I'm a violent paranoid schizo. Because if I'm a violent paranoid schizo, you don't need to stack the deck to make me look like a violent paranoid schizo, correct? Okay, so what is it they're trying to cover up? It goes all the way down to 5 years old. What is it that's so horrifically unspeakable that goes down to 5 years old that they don't want me remembering or talking about so much that they're going to punch me in the back of the head minute by minute with 100,000 to 1 million attacks per day? It exponentially grows from 5 years old to 29 to now 51, correct? What do they not want coming to light that they're trying to hide and cover up, that they're running around provoking me literally 100,000 to 1 million times per day, or let's say 1,000 times in my circumference per hour? what to try to make me look like a violent, paranoid schizo and a public nuisance and this and that, and the only thing I've done is say, look, you've been lied to. Now if they've spent 20 years trying to deface me, defacing all my cars on a minute by minute, daily, minute by minute, 20 years. It's the car defacings are interesting because they originally start with my Jaguar parked by Greg Koenig and Terrence Scroggins. And if Terrence Scroggins, Greg Koenig states Terrence Scroggins wants to beat me up or something, and while defacing all my cars, and instantly we see like 10 to 15 green Terrence Scroggins Eclipses all parked around my Owens Mountain Juliana around my house. And after that, Terrence Scroggins, I forgot all about this, makes up a lie with my therapist, Kareen Eshigan, which is interesting that the therapist is working with the neighbor. Why is that is beyond any level of illegal. The therapist wants to silence the victim. Why does the therapist want to silence the victim? As I'm telling him we should have like joint therapy with my father, because I don't understand why he and his office are hunting me to fucking kill me with a planet of people. Okay, so that was 14 years in his office, and that links down to 16 as well. Some of the things my father was doing when I was making money in his office. I was filing in the filing room downstairs and making money for the 426 Hemi for my car passion. And my father got mad, so he gets together with LAPD. They put bullet holes in a 300E Mercedes, saying that I tried to kill or scare him, and many other things, making up lies that I stole $10,000. For the money that I worked for to put towards the engine for my Barracuda or whatever I was going to use this 426 Hemi for. And my father got mad because in his mind, based on perfection, Kevin could be a danger to himself or others, therefore we got to put a stop to the crime before it happens. Put a stop to the crime before it happens. Put a stop to the crime before it happens. I don't trust you, I don't like you, I'm going to put you in a jail cell or mental institution. I don't trust you, therefore you are not a free man. Now, normally you're going to say, well, you got a psychotic murdering father. Yet the guy is protected by the police department, NSA, FBI, you name it, with worldwide groups helping, and the psychology community. Now, I've heard a lot of banter. Oh, sorry, I'm going to... I've heard a lot of banter over the years, even last week, about horrible monster people that the police are hunting that they just can't catch, so they gotta commit crimes to get the guy. And my response to these people has always been the same. Well, at the point that you start breaking laws to catch people, you're a liar and a hypocrite and not trustable. Okay, so this example, Sean Dincy, perfect example. Sean Dincy, I think Kevin's a drug dealer, right? So I'm gonna work with Rody Morales. We're gonna have Mike Huntley introduce Rody Morales to me, to befriend me at my gym, World's Gym or Gold's Gym. Rody Morales is gonna take me to strip clubs with the strippers and porn stars saying that I'm harassing women, which is weird. That's all links to Brian Longbotham and strip clubs and strippers, and Tim Thompson as well, who was a friend with Steve McPike down in, I met at University of Colorado, so you're seeing the linked federal crimes against me. And, Brian Longbotham, Tim Thompson, they're also linked with Paul Humphrey and sending people like Jen Hess and Julia Sophia Reynoso. Rody Morales trying to plant a trash bag full of marijuana in my house. I explained on the last video how Terrence Scroggins is linked to these LAPD illegal operations to plant things in my house. Wait, let me understand this. My father states that his son is a criminal, so he's trying to plant guns and drugs in his son's house because he has to catch his child because the child got away with these crimes that never happened, correct? So he's allowed to hunt and kill and set up and frame and torture with worldwide groups because he's a good person. So because he's a good person, he's allowed to be a superhero with Terrence Scroggins and Officer Toro and Officer Jensen and Officer Dincy and Detective Angela Stewart and Detective Shapiro exercising the law in their own, quote-unquote, in their own way, because I'm a horrible monster, because I know what I did, according to my father. I know what I did, but he can't specifically state what I did do. So I committed a crime, I got away with it. He's gonna plant guns in my house, he's gonna plant drugs in my house, he's gonna lock me away for what I did, but he doesn't even actually have an argument as to what I did. We are violating constitutional laws, and the argument here is, well, you see that guy over there? He's a criminal, so help us exterminate him. Because I'm a good person, and whatever I say cannot be questioned, and therefore go kill for us, go kill for the LAPD, or go kill for Ron Perlman, or go eradicate for Ron Perlman and the LAPD, because he's a bad guy. Okay, do you have any habeas corpus? Do you have any proof or evidence? Or no, I don't need proof or evidence. He's just a bad guy, so go kill for me, because I say so. Okay, so Officer Dincy, who is on some kind of 46-year personal vendetta with my father, or better yet, on the take or being paid, are trying to plant drugs in my house. They're trying to plant weapons in my house. They're trying to get people in my house to do freaky things. They probably have had several breaking and entering things, because I went to Cabo and I came back, and when I was first starting to find out things, I noticed that it seemed like someone was in my house, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jump to any conclusions like, you know, maybe I'm just a little, you know, whatever. Met with the "you don't talk or we kill you," which is sort of like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, and then the Mike Huntley. Okay, and there's a lot of other things I don't want to get into. But we're coming back to the, well, Kevin's not allowed at coffee shops because he's a public nuisance. Well, I'm a public nuisance because at 29 I found out there's a worldwide execution to eradicate me. How does that make me a public nuisance? Now let's talk about the self-fulfilling prophecy. The self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say I'm a really good person and a planet of people, oh no, okay. Let's say at 5 years old you left a Coke can on a park bench, and there's a planet of people saying you're a litterer, we're gonna hunt you and kill you. And we're gonna do whatever it takes with billions of government dollars. Sorry, I hope I'm not disturbing you. We're gonna invest billions to execute this 5-year-old litterer who left a Coke can on a park bench. And so every day of this person's life he has to deal with or try to stop or speak out against a planetary murder operation of mental blows, minute by minute by minute by minute by minute by minute by minute. Do you think there might be a self-fulfilling prophecy that the obsessed psychotic going, I'm gonna hunt you and kill you with every person on the planet for littering at 5 years old is creating the scenario? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If the only way to stop it is to leave the victim and target alone, and everything's how it should be. And you're gonna say, well, wait, it sounds to me that if someone keeps walking up behind someone and punching him in the back of the head 100 times a day, every day of his life, and bitches and complains, don't swing at me, don't try to punch me, don't punch me, it sounds to me like that's what they want, correct? Because if someone keeps punching you in the back of the head and you say stop, eventually they want you to beat the living shit out of them, right? I mean, that's what they want. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so that's the point behind this dialogue here, is that's what they want. You can't sit there and say, I want a peaceful, friendly place, but I'm gonna have 1,000 people a day come in and punch you in the back of the head and try to mentally bludgeon your skull in, but I want a nice family place, right? And then it all gets on video, and then Officer Toro comes around going, you know, if you ever take a picture of a person, I'll exercise the law in my own way. Now we have a girl walking by here sort of smirking like, look what we've done to this guy's life. Now that is sort of one of the, you know, let's try to make the guy look crazy. And when you're a gang stalking target, you realize that that's part of the instigations to sort of, let's make the guy look crazy, now we're gonna laugh at him and humiliate him, and it's a way to sort of try to, we're gonna make you look crazy and we're gonna make it look like you suffer from mental illness, so therefore it's actually a sort of a power play, right, to guilt you, or okay, whatever. So what is Starbucks? Starbucks Corporation, this is a worldwide thing with worldwide groups, not just Starbucks, but coffee shops worldwide. But Starbucks has been the most aggressive. And it started with Paul Humphrey. There was an employee named Garrett mad at me. This was in maybe 2005 at Topanga and Ventura. Mad at me, saying it's your transgressions. He was hinting about my Trans Am when I was 16. Now, he wasn't even born yet, if you even want to understand the ramifications of how is he getting this information, this out of context information, or are we just trying to make the guy look crazy, known as gang stalking or gaslighting? Well, I can't answer these questions. All I can tell you is it's planetary. I turned 29. I find out it's been going on since I was 5 years old. But there is something, and I've explained a lot of these things, that my father, the police, my family, the government, LAPD are trying to cover up, which is really just government flag and kill operations, because there's no actual reasoning behind any of it. Okay, but what is the reason a planet? Okay, we're talking an entire planet. Think about this. If the entire planet, the majority of the entire planet, every social interaction is provoke someone with packaged mental illness tactics to make someone look like they suffer from mental illness. There's got to be a reason that it's unanimous, and there's got to be a reason that no one's coming forward saying this is what we were told and this is wrong. Okay, you said the guy's crazy, and you said the guy did all these things. I met him. He's not crazy. You're full of shit. So whatever, and that's unheard of. Okay, usually there's sort of public opinion this way or that way. Whatever the reasoning is, it's on such a magnitude of something like killing a 5-year-old and getting away with it that got so far out of control because the person found out, correct? And then remember that every cover-up is Kevin's crazy and suffers from mental illness. And that starts with me sitting in my office at Signet E-Services, where my father wanted to reel me close to his office with, hey, I get you this space for cheap and all these on Ventura Boulevard in my office building, because he wanted to hack into my computer, or Mike Huntley put the hub of my computer in Patty Guggen's side of the office with my father, where they could sort of all try to get me to do things that were illegal or whatever, and then look, we got proof. But of course, like usual, nothing happened. I just focused on making money and trying to do something with my life, which made my family really mad. And you gotta question why. Okay, why is it so important that Kevin's not allowed to go out and live his life like everyone else? And there's a worldwide campaign to mentally batter him to death and make him look like a violent paranoid schizo, and like the police try to cover up and state that I suffer, with the psychology community, that I suffer from mental illness. This mental illness that Susan Donner makes up some lie at the age 29 with Mike Huntley and my father, that magically a virus creeped up into my head at 29, a schizophrenia virus. Well, that's not how schizophrenia works. It's genetic. And why did she word it that way, like a virus, like it's the movie The Matrix or something? Okay, right? But the bottom line is that all you need to know is that this psychologist, like the rest of them, had a packaged cover-up label for whatever my father and mother are mad and my brother are mad when I was 5 years old, okay? And you can already come to the conclusion that there can't be a reason, okay? That's a child rapist and a child abusing father who gets his jollies mentally battering 5-year-olds, okay? That's the point. Okay, now why is he linked into government resources and the entire psychology community, the entire government, NSA, FBI, worldwide groups, because remember that I exerted 0 mental illness up until 29, to the point of noticing a planet of people trying to make me look like a violent paranoid schizo, set me up, frame me, make me look crazy. And Mike Huntley's statements, even a stripper Bentley, you'll get yours. He's giving me enough rope to hang yourself with, have a good life now. Tracing these events, even to Paul Humphrey, hey, come out to my house in Redondo Beach, where he moved because he wanted to be by Jen Hess, where they sent after me. And, hey, Kevin's crazy because we sat in the corner of a restaurant. Kevin's crazy because we sat in the corner of a restaurant. I can't remember, but some of the waitresses were doing some weird, provoking, mind game-ish things. And some other things I want to talk about is things I didn't really realize were going on. Like, I can remember being at University of Colorado, friend taking me to restaurants, and waitresses sort of, like me being friendly, like, hi, you know, cool shirt. I don't have time for your shit today, or, you know, like something like that. You're like, I've never seen this waitress before in my life, and why did she come off with a bipolar type of, and she was black, I recall she was black. So when we're linking down to me kissing a black girl, my father getting mad with these government resources to launch worldwide campaigns to kill me, saying I'm a white supremacist and full of anger and rage, you can actually link those events. Okay, so you can link the 8 years old event of me kissing a black girl. You can link the highest aggression in coffee shops, especially Starbucks, the black employees. His kind's not allowed here, we're gonna kill him because he kissed a black girl. To some of the death threats, no relaxing for you, nigger, okay? You better accept what's going on or it's gonna get a lot worse for you, okay? And that's all gonna come back to things like, well, you didn't shave here, so you're not allowed at any coffee shop in the world. What? Well, how are you? Once again, like in my last video. How is the information? Okay, this person says you didn't shave, you're not at any coffee shop worldwide. How is that information going worldwide instantly? And who would invest the billions and billions of dollars to do it? And is the argument because he suffers from mental illness, he's not allowed to have a coffee because caffeine creates anxiety? Well, wouldn't that be beyond any level of illegal and unheard of? And wouldn't that create the appearance of mental illness if every time you try to buy a coffee, you're brutalized and tortured by psychological shockings or mental batterings, however you want to word it, okay? So their concern is not that I suffer from mental illness. They want to create mental illness, to say this guy's crazy, and how can we get a 5350, okay, 5150, make the guy look like he goes crazy in an outburst. 5250 would be the temporary hold, well, where he's not going back to a normal state, and 5350 would be the LPS conservatorship stage. He's not curable, so we have to, that is the only thing this is about since 5 years old. LPS conservatorships, 5350s, my brother's own death threats, me and my friend are gonna put you in a mental institution, my brother's anger, my brother's rage. Do you think my brother's still, to this day with the worldwide groups, doing this because he's a superhero and wants peace for the world, a peaceful world and humanity? No, he's doing it most likely for money, and what's the money would be the family inheritance. Now, can I tell you unequivocally that I know that for sure? No, but I can tell you that especially 16-year-olds who are running around causing road rage havoc aren't the types of people that are superheroes trying to create the perfect world for peace and prosperity. There's something for personal gain that he wants or wanted, and let's say he grew up, but in doing so he launched a worldwide murder operation to kill his younger brother with my father, which we gotta question that. Well, how do you get out of it? okay? Now he wants to look like a good urologist with his political lobbying, losing against Debbie Wasserman Schultz's wife, okay? I mean, that cannot come out. I'm running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz for Congress. Oh, by the way, my husband was stalking and hunting his younger brother, trying to make him look mentally ill and force him into mental institutions because he wanted the family inheritance, okay? I don't fucking know. But I do know that being that background data around my life would boat anchor Jennifer Pilchick Perlman running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz for Congress, correct? Or any political career, or probably shun her, shame her in the eyes of everyone else, which is what they're trying to do to me, which they have done to me with thousands of lies and defamation, correct? Okay, so what is the driving force? The driving force, how did it start? It started with Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman. Why is it going on? I cannot answer. How does one approach a planet of coffee shops, especially large corporations like Starbucks, taking the initiative? We don't like his kind. Not because I've done anything wrong. Either because I'm Jewish. Okay, this is racial discrimination. Either I'm Jewish, either I have no hair here, or they're trying to get some kind of revenge for some imaginary crime, so Kevin's kind. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is it's been non-stop since 5 years old. Every high school teacher, every middle school teacher, kind of backwards, middle school teacher, high school teacher, college professors, all involved. We're going to cure mental illness by creating mental illness and giving someone a one-way ticket into a mental institution. Still goes on minute by minute today with worldwide groups who want me to be healthy by mentally bludgeoning me to death and mentally battering my skull in to try to make me look like agoraphobic, saying you're not allowed to do anything, you're not allowed to have friends, relationships, start businesses, work for companies, you name it. You suffer from agoraphobia, you're not allowed to leave your house. Oh, you're not allowed to leave your house, but you also suffer from agoraphobia. Okay, Sean Dincy threatening my life, I'm not allowed to leave my house. Okay, you can link all this together. Okay? Sean Dincy's running around with my family, taking money, don't let him leave his house. Then the cover-up arguments, he's a public nuisance. Because he doesn't like a planet of people running around saying your kind is not allowed to leave his cage. Especially without an actual reason. Okay, there's no reason, just hate. Just Ronald Barry Perlman, I hate my 5-year-old. I'm going to shock him to death like his dog Rhoda, who he put shock collars on. He's going to send Rhodey Morales after me, and he's going to send Kelly Hatch after me from Calabasas High to follow me to Southern Oregon State, wanting me to see the movie The Bad Seed, like 1953 or something, I'm not sure. And if you've seen the movie The Bad Seed, it's about some 8 or 10-year-old evil child that's killing all the neighbors, and her name's Rhoda. Okay, now, I mean, which, in my father's skull fucking with Skylar, they sent after me with Jason from Florida on internet-related chat, some redhead psycho. In my father's world of skull fucking his child to death with a planet of people, was Kelly Hatch showing me that movie to skull fuck me or spark an emotion about the things my family's doing? I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is all the seed planting and the mind games and the paranoid schizophrenia tactics and everything that's going on a planetary. This is the key here. When they come up with a method to abuse me to death daily, minute by minute, it instantly goes out worldwide. So when my neighbor's waiting for me to take walks in his white Tesla, some Asian guy, and he says, "You touched my car," And I said, I didn't touch your car. And what does it really matter anyways? And he says, I say, what is this really about? Because why are you sitting here looking like an idiot or whatever? And he says, why do you take so many walks? And I try to explain to him that I don't take a lot of walks. They just have a problem with any walk I take. And more important than that, I have the right to take one walk or 100 billion walks. That's my business, not his business. Now, I'm not questioning why he sits in his car every day waiting for me. Well, I sort of am because I'm documenting it and they're trying to rile me up and provoke me. But I'm not saying anything about it. Now, instantly after that, worldwide groups of white car groupings. So the worldwide car mental illness tactics that are still going on. 2 cars backwards, 3 cars backwards together, cars backwards everywhere, red groupings together, all the different things that are going on. 2 CRVs, 2 green Jeep Cherokees, 2 RAV4s. Okay, all these things that go on every day worldwide direct at me in case I leave my house. Changes to a new one. A new one is added in the bag of Kill Kevin tactics, and that is groups of white cars worldwide together, and it exponentially grows within 1 week's time. Okay, so now okay, so now you're gonna say, how? I think the camera can see me. How and why? Very important questions. Why would Kevin Perlman not be allowed to take walks? And don't listen to their lies about Kevin's a public nuisance and Kevin's crazy and Kevin's a violent paranoid schizo. Why would this guy not allowed to be taking walks or sitting down on benches at parks or anywhere else? With death threats, no relaxing for you, nigger. I don't know what angle here our camera. Right there. Okay. So, no relaxing for you, nigger. Kevin's not allowed to take walks. If Kevin takes walks, mass groups attack him with thousands of different terror tactics. For example, they know when I come out of my house. They watch me on camera. Everyone's messaged or IP camera. They're sent pictures or whatever. 50 people come out with dog walkers, come out. They walk by me, they try to provoke me. That's just one of these thousands of tactics. No relaxing for you, nigger, death threats. Wait, I thought I suffer from mental illness. No relaxing for me, nigger. Well, that's not mental illness. That's pure hate and rage because I kissed a black girl 8 years old with my father. This black and white Nazi mentality. You blinked wrong, you yawned wrong, you looked at a girl imperfectly, you didn't hug a girl correctly, the sex wasn't perfect, you're only allowed to date one girl every 10 years or you committed a crime, whatever, these secret imaginary rules that, example, it used to be that you're only, hint, you're only allowed to go to the park for 5 minutes or people will show up and mentally bludgeon your skull in. And Fox News was heavily involved in that, okay? Fox News with Greg Gutfeld was heavily involved in that, linking to Tom Farley and unheard of things, okay? This is worldwide to the point where I had to expose the White House of the United States of America with policeabuse.com and Don Jackson, ex-LAPD police sergeant, okay? So, on counter surveillance, watching security at the White House flip out because I simply walked in the tourist section with everyone else. Why can everyone walk in the tourist section but Kevin Perlman, who is imagining it? But if Kevin Perlman walks in the tourist section, security flips their lid going, Kevin Perlman's here. Okay, these are very important things. And this really gets bad around 2001, which is a little weird because I think that was by 911, the Twin Towers, right? Okay, so I think what was going on is they were sort of, we can use the Patriot Act as a Trojan horse to kill the guy that we've always been trying to kill since he was 5 years old, right? Okay, so think about that. Because everything that's happening in my life is privacy violations, violating the Constitution, and what is the Patriot Act? It's a way to violate the Constitution, saying you are a free man and protected by the Constitution unless I think you're this or that. income Terrence Scroggins. Well, I'm a terrorist because they paid off Roddy Morales to take me to strip clubs? I mean, I can't make the connection there, right? Okay, but then it switches to I'm the next Unabomber with some prostitute they sent after me who is the girlfriend of criminal defense attorney Michael Bialis, who's linked to my visual effects supervisor, Brian Longbottom, working on me, hiring me for jobs and hunting me to have me killed. Example, hiring me for 2 pilots at Universal Studios, with working on me with Wes Craven and Frame Job Operations and the psychology community, hiring me out in Thousand Oaks for VR experiment type things, the city of Thousand Oaks, trying to frame me, working with, what is the property owner's name of all those big properties? I can't remember. He was harassing me 2 years ago at the VTAC car show. What was his name? It might come to me. There's a big, huge property owner guy that they're sort of trying to frame me and set me up with. And 100 million other things. Okay, so you're going to say, why is there a plan of people supporting it? That's the question. Why are thousands of defamation and slander statements going out planetary? Why are there internet kill systems built around me with billions of dollars that if 1,000 people a day are told to punch me in the back of the head or mentally punch me in the back of the head until they can try to get a reaction and say, look what Kevin did, he needs to be stopped. And then they threaten my life, you don't talk or we kill you, or better yet, no relaxing for you nigger, or you better accept what's going on or it's going to get a lot worse for you. But more importantly, why invest the billions of dollars and the very act of doing these things is beyond any level of criminal known to man. So the murderers are saying that Kevin Perlman is crazy, and as a planet of child rapist sickos or child rapist supporters helping, going, that's the guy, so we're all going to break the law to get the guy that's someone with billions of dollars and a pedestal in secret. Okay, let's be realistic here. If the people that are defaming my name are doing it in the dark, in secret, on a pedestal to the world, saying you're not allowed to have a counter argument, and I put a sign on my car, and they say you're a public nuisance because you have a sign on your car saying you've been lied to. Does that sound a little strange and out of context and unheard of? Wait. You have a planet trying to kill me. You have billions and billions, $100 billion behind it. It's been going on for 51 years. The guy finds out. You don't talk or we kill you. People in the psychology. Natalie Croft threatening my life that I better not talk. Okay, Natalie Croft. And it was indirect. It was you better take medication or you'll destroy your life. Now what she was really saying was you do what we fucking tell you or we're going to kill you. Because we want you to have a normal life. Yeah, that sounds like someone wants you to have a normal life. And you put signs on your car saying, world, you've been lied to. And the strangers you've never met, say, why don't you think you have mental illness? If some random stranger walked up to you and said, you're a violent paranoid schizo, you would say, I don't know you. Okay? Now, if a stranger with a psychology degree walked up to you and said you're a violent paranoid schizo, you'd say, I don't know you. You're grabbing a package label and throwing it on someone that you've never met. Okay? Think about that. And that applies, we're talking about the well-being poison worldwide. Does that not sound strange? Does that sound like the behavior that a psychotic murderer would do when he's running around saying, hey, world, that guy's crazy. Everyone help me kill him. Everyone help me eradicate him. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Well, I've committed multiple crimes. Having coffee because my kind, or us Jews, or however you want to word it, since 5-year-old, is not allowed to have caffeine. Now, does it say anything... Does it say anything in the law books that Jews are not allowed to drink coffee? Does it say anything in the Constitution of the United States of America that Jews are not allowed to drink coffee, or his kind is not allowed to drink coffee? does it say that in the Constitution of the United States or any law book that his kind or those Jews are not allowed to go to any coffee shop in the world and consume coffee? Or because Jason Perlman states that Kevin went to a buffet in Tahoe and ate a lot of food, that he's never allowed at a restaurant anywhere in the world or supermarket again? And if he does go into a supermarket, every employee is going to provoke the guy when he tries to buy food, and every person is going to arrive with mental illness tactics, or they're going to be waiting there every day of their lives with mass mental illness tactics to stop you from going into supermarkets or restaurants to eat food because 40 years ago in Lake Tahoe you ate too much food at a buffet. Well, once again, I didn't shave in the last couple days, and I look like a grungy homeless dude, so I'm never allowed at any coffee shop again, correct? Okay, do you really think that that is about a beard? Do you think it's about a buffet? While people play Jimmy Buffett and at Bob's Big Boy trying to send me idea of reference messages, and this Steve Doctor guy is talking about eating too much at buffets while people are getting angry and angrier, attacking me, going, "You're a monster." But remember that nothing is direct, okay? These people aren't walking up saying, "Well, 40 years ago you ate too much food at a buffet and you're an out-of-control monster, so you're not allowed to go to car meets, and by the way, you come to the car meet every week just like us, but you're not allowed to do it, only we are. Because if you do it, you suffer from OCD, but if we do it, it's perfectly normal in a social event." Okay, does something not sound right there? Just like everyone's allowed to go to coffee shops but Kevin Perlman, everyone's allowed to play pool but Kevin Perlman, everyone's allowed to take walks but Kevin Perlman, everyone's allowed to buy food but Kevin Perlman. Now we do have a direct statement from this Asian guy who's trying to cover it up. Why do you take so many walks? That's none of his fucking business. Okay? His behavior is a stalking murderer. I don't want you taking walks. I'm going to follow you around with mass groups trying to kill you. That's all any of this is about. Why do you build so much websites and make money? Why do you do so many studio photography shoots and build your portfolio to make money? Well, if I buy a camera and do a studio photography shoot and there's a plan of people trying to kill me instantly, I'm not going to be able to make any money, and I'm not going to be able to get into photography. If I go out and take a walk and there's a plan of people trying to kill me, your kind's not allowed to take walks. That's going to make me really unhealthy. And my father's going to run around saying he suffers from he's agoraphobic. We got to put him in a mental institution. So it's not about mental illness. It's about execution or eradication, excommunication. Okay, that's all it's about. It's a hate crime. It's a worldwide murder operation or hate crime to execute a 5-year-old, which has now been going on for 46 years or 51 years. It is government flag and kill operations with a one-way ticket into a bouncy room. It has nothing to do with mental illness. And as the closing statement, the only aspect of mental illness that this does have to do with is making people look crazy and ridding them of the world, also known as gang stalking, community harassment groups. Originally, the next level of warfare derived from Adolf Hitler, or Adolf Hitler's next level wanted to do his next level of warfare, trickled down to the KKK, and then probably, or I know from fact, the psychology community and the U.S. government said we can use this to our advantage for whatever, maybe, let's just say control, but it's not really about control, because if I follow someone around, punch him in the back of the head every day because I paid a guy to take someone to a strip club, and every day of the guy's life after that I punch him in the back of the head saying you might go to a strip club again. By the way, going to a strip club is not illegal. The act of mentally bludgeoning someone's skull in is not the act of control. Maybe in the murderer's mind it is. It's the act of killing, but maybe he thinks it's about control. Okay, so either way, I'm going to end this here. And usually people follow me to coffee shops with the mental illness tactics. That's been going on for 22 years. It's a lot worse when I'm logged into the Google Cloud due to the exploits. And I also want to sort of note that every aspect of my life is being exploited, if you think about it. You kissed a black girl, therefore you hate black girls, or some of these weird statements I hear like, why do you like black girls so much? You're crazy, you're obsessed. Well, the only thing that's happened is a guy kissed a black girl when he was 8 years old. And that makes their hate towards us Jews racial, or the We're White campaign to kill me, no relaxing for you nigger, because I kissed a black girl when I was 8 years old, racial and a hate crime, and that hate crime starts with my father and mother and brother, disguised and covered up with psychological labeling to fluffy it up, just like killing people and sending them to elsewhere. If you send someone elsewhere, you're not killing them because it's a fluffy, different place. But if you say the word kill and blow away and split their fucking skull open and bludgeon their fucking skull with brain fragments and spinal fluid all over the fucking ground with blood and guts pouring everywhere, it's a little more to the point than elsewhere. Okay? So, I'll end it there.